The new year is where we set resolutions and goals for the upcoming year, whether that be getting healthier or reading more. However, somewhere amongst the common resolutions, you may have decided to get back into Animal Crossing. With no updates or information coming out of Nintendo for a new game, you've been left to come up with new ways to play the game. It's no surprise then that you probably stopped playing New Horizons last year. But the new year brings an opportunity to change that and start a whole new island. Whilst it is hard to reset your island, it's something I encourage you to try at least once. If you need some convincing as to why restarting is a good thing to do this year, here are 5 reasons why you should try it. If you've had your island for quite a while, you've probably reached a point where your island is as decorated as it can be, but something just doesn't feel right, and you aren't exactly sure what it is. Finding that your island isn't working for you is a common feeling among Animal Crossing players, which can happen for a variety of reasons, the most common of which is that your theme is just not right for you. Decorating an island in a theme you've never tried before can be incredibly exciting. However, if you've gone too far outside of your comfort zone, you may end up abandoning your island after a while. There are 2 options you have when this happens. You can either delete your save data, or you can pick up all of the placed items and paths that you've put down and try again. However, the community is divided on which is the easier to do. Personally, I prefer to restart because seeing items with fresh eyes and without the vibes of the old island lingering around really helps in deciding what you need for your next island, whether you choose to keep the existing theme or not. If you've also done a lot of work on your island before you found your theme wasn't working for you, then it may be quicker to restart your island than it is to pick up every item and kick up all the path codes that you've already put down. However, if you have some items that you like and you want to take to your next island, you can always save these so that you can try the theme again on a new map layout or start a new theme with at least some items to help you get started with decorating. Speaking of map layouts, one of the reasons why you should restart an island and try something new this year is to get a completely different layout of your buildings and island. It doesn't matter if it's your first island or your 7th. If your airport isn't the right colour, your resident services is in the wrong place, or you hate how your beaches look, if any of them are not what you want, you will have no choice but to restart your island. Sadly, there are some elements of the map you won't be able to change, and if any of these are either in the wrong place or you don't like what you have, it can be really difficult to decorate around and put you off finishing your island altogether. In those cases, a complete redo can give you a completely new outlook on decorating, and having a new map and new terraforming just feels refreshing, particularly if you've been struggling with your last island. Plus, one big benefit you get from starting afresh with a new map is that you get to rename your island. Like many of you, I will never understand why Nintendo just didn't give us the option to pick a new name for our islands. Sometimes a name you think will be a great idea turns into something that you just can't work around. For many designers, their island name is part of their theme, and when you start looking at dream addresses, the first thing you get presented with is the name of the island. That can be a lot of pressure for you if you have a name which makes you feel limited in what you're planning to build. If your island name is really bothering you, resetting is a good opportunity to start again from a new save and build up the island to be exactly the vibes you want. Regardless of whether you're an island designer or just a casual player, playing Animal Crossing should be fun and enjoyable. If you need to spice up your gameplay, there are a couple of options you can use to keep you playing the game for longer. One thing you consider doing on a new island is setting yourself a challenge. There are plenty of 30-day challenges to create an island without Nintendo Switch Online or just using DIY items if you're an island designer. Or maybe you want to go back to basics and not use treasure islands and instead obtain items in the old-fashioned way by trading with friends. Maybe you're restarting your island because you had a go at your first island, but now you want to get into island design and create something which becomes your perfect island. That's a good challenge to set yourself, but I wouldn't recommend starting with a time challenge if you're new to designing islands. Instead, use the time to learn more about how treasure islands work and how creators put their islands together. Starting a new island as a new designer is a great way to learn some of the basics of island design without worrying so much about an old island. But if you are worried about being overwhelmed with starting from scratch, you can always redecorate the island you currently have if you don't mind the map layout you already have. This was actually how I transformed my first island into the island of my dreams, and once I finished it, I got the decorating bug and have designed other islands since then. If you need a new way to get back into Animal Crossing and want to mix up how you design islands, setting a challenge for yourself is a great way to do it. If challenges aren't your thing, there's also another option for you to enjoy a new island. If you want a completely different change of pace, the best thing you can do in Animal Crossing New Horizons is reset your island. Amongst the rush to finish decorating an island and move on to another theme, it's easy to forget that Animal Crossing is supposed to be played one day at a time. It's how the developers intended it to be, and when you reset your island, you get to go back to the slower paced nature that is the beginning of New Horizons. At the start of the game, the tutorial gives you the opportunity to learn more about island life, and you end up spending the time fishing, catching bugs, digging up fossils, and gathering resources as you slowly learn the basics of the game ahead of working on Project K. This part of the game is best enjoyed slowly, and although island designers typically rush through the beginning to go straight into decorating, you can mix up your gameplay a bit by slowing down and spending the time working on your Crucipedia or Nutmiles achievements instead. Even if you do it just as a break between decorating islands, sometimes trying a different aspect of the game for a while can make it more likely that you finish an island when you know the exact route you want to go down when you do decide to decorate. Another option for restarting your game, which may confuse you for a bit but can also help with island design, is to try playing an island in the opposite hemisphere to the one you normally play in. So if you're in North America or Europe, try a Southern Hemisphere island instead and catch all of the bugs and fish in a completely different season than the one you're currently living in. Particularly at this time of the year in decorating, changing hemisphere can be really helpful because trying to decorate in the snow is notoriously difficult in Animal Crossing. So resetting to play in the opposite hemisphere could mean that you're decorating in summer instead, when it's easier to see exactly what you're working on. With all that said, you may still be thinking that resetting is not for you, and whilst I can understand that, there is one thing to consider before you completely write off deleting your save data. As someone who has played for a while, you have the knowledge and the experience you need to actually make the start of the game more enjoyable than when you last tried it. You understand the core mechanics of the game and what the tasks are between loading up the map for the first time and getting 3 stars. You also know how to get these done as quickly as possible so you can get stuck into decorating as soon as KK has performed for the first time. If you're a newer player and you feel daunted by that prospect, you honestly don't need to be. Even if you played casually last year, you're still in a good place to start a new island and learn how to design an island from scratch. It doesn't matter if you didn't decorate your previous island at all, or if you put down items you liked and made your island something you enjoyed, but you always wanted to look better than it did. You will know more than you realise when you do decide to restart your island, and you can get involved in making the stunning islands as well. It can be hard to reset your island when you've put a lot of time and effort into your island and the villages you have. It's easy to feel really sentimental about your island, so it's important to think through whether or not you want to restart, but it can be helpful in kickstarting your passion for decorating, particularly if you haven't played your island for months. And if you do decide to restart your island, then you may want to start thinking about your new map. And if you watch this video next, you will see some of the things that you need to keep in mind before you pick your next island layout. And I'll see you over there.